So OpenAI just released their first autonomous agent called Operator. Pandora's box has definitely been opened. The things we're going to see over the next few days, weeks, and months are going to be absolutely wild. People are going to use this thing in ways that OpenAI could never imagine. And who knows what the fallout will be. This impacts every single website on the internet. It affects every user of the internet. It's not too hard to imagine a future where humans become second-class citizens, unable to compete against an army of agents for things like gig tickets. But this also has a massive ramifications for Google. Google is obviously going to be scrambling to bring out their own agents, but this impacts their entire search and ad-based revenue model. Search is Google's moat, and OpenAI has just decided that it's fine for their agents to use Google Search for free. I just don't see Google allowing that. Also, consider the things that users might direct these agents to do. I wouldn't be surprised if there's already someone using these agents for ad fraud, completely undermining Google's AdSense platform. We'll go down that train of thought in a little more detail, but first let's take a look at what these agents can do.
Okay, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. Okay.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking Operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m. And I'm using OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well. But let's see what it does.
So can you explain what's happening in this?
Right. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I typed in the query, Operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere. And as you can see, it's already up and running. And my hands are off the keyboard. I'm not typing these things.
So this is just the AI's clicking around.
AI is just clicking around. It started this browser session. It knew where OpenTable website is, which is opentable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, searched for Beretta, and something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia, and it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is using, so like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. So I'm going to show this really quickly here. Okay. So I've given a custom instruction that for queries that need it, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself to go to Beretta. Okay, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available, but you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So we're gonna go do that. So in this case, Operator came back, and this is a really good example of task delegation where Operator needs help or needs assistance or just wants to ask you something. It'll just come back and you answer that
So
query.
in practice, you wouldn't have had to watch this. You could have just let it go off while you're doing other things. Then it would come back and say, hey, I can't do 7:45.
Totally.
Yeah. Great.
And we're starting with a web app. You'll get notifications, etc. When Operator moves into mobile, you'll get mobile notifications, much like interactions we do with general apps. Okay, yes, that's great. Let's do it.
They call the model QA, Computer User Agent. It's a model that combines ChatGPT-4's vision capabilities with advanced reasoning. The model lets the AI interact with GUIs by clicking buttons and entering fields in forms, or just like a human would do. It's actually really impressive tech. The only thing I've ever worked with that comes close is Selenium and Playwright, but this completely blows that out of the water. Can you imagine what the testing community is going to do with this? Today, if you want to write end-to-end UI tests, they take an absolute age to write. And they're always flaky. They just are. They're always flaky. But imagine leveraging Operator to verify that key actions and journeys on your site function as expected. No more programming every single step and action by hand. Just some broad strokes instructions and let it go. I'm obviously excited as a user to be able to use this, but this is going to change the internet forever. If I'm a business, do I want autonomous agents coming to my site? Some might. A sale's a sale, right? But what if I'm a small site and I don't want the server load? These agents are likely to flood my analytics with false data, skewing insights and, in the long run, damaging user experience. Look at the example of the tickets. Are ticket sites going to be inundated with agents that automatically add tickets to their basket, preventing real humans from therefore adding tickets to their own basket? Do we all now need to compete against autonomous agents who can perform operations far faster than we can? Are we going to get sites that decide they want to go all in on servicing these agents? Optimized for agent experience rather than user experience. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see sites optimized purely for agents. No CSS, no JavaScript. If you're a human, too bad. Think about AMP pages, extremely fast, but feature poor, and honestly, a far worse experience. So speaking of Google, in the demo, they often picked a site ahead of giving the operator instructions, but there were cases where it performed a Google query first, and they even said that if you didn't pick a site, it would typically start with a Google query. So are most users going to pick a site first, or are they just going to let the agent Google it? I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to click a button. I'm just going to let the agent Google it. These agents, they're going to absolutely smash Google. For every Google query performed, there's a cost incurred to Google. Google gives us Google search for free because of their ad model. But what are these agents doing? Are they going to be clicking on the ads? As an advertiser, do I want to be paying for impressions or clicks from a bot? I'm not sure. Right now, there's probably some really interesting conversations happening in Google's boardroom about whether they should let AI actually use their search engine and whether they should let them use it for free. Over the coming weeks, I bet there's going to be some serious cost-benefit analysis. How much traffic is OpenAI actually driving to Google? How much revenue is Google generating from impressions or clicks on this? Or how much revenue are they losing? How much reputational damage does this do if a significant proportion of advertiser impressions are being generated by bots? And let's not forget that Google is a direct competitor to OpenAI. I just can't see how Google can afford to let OpenAI continue to use Google search. Surely they have to take some action and prevent it. It's another day in a post-AI world, and it's another day where, in a heartbeat, I swing from a state of exuberance to existential dread, and back again. It's a terrifyingly exciting time to be alive. Will I still have a job in a few years? Will I even need one? I don't know. On that note, I'm Terry Mace. You've been watching Mace Labs. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please do like and subscribe. This is a very small and new channel, so it really does help us. See you next time.